Is it inevitable, Dr. Fauci, that at some point in the not too distant future, everyone is going to need a booster shot?
Well, I think the important thing to point out is the differences between the immune compromised who really never really got a good response to begin with. So for them, it's more of getting them up to what they hopefully had gotten the first time around. But we know because of their immune compromise, they don't. That's different than the durability of response, which means taking a person, be it an elderly, healthy person or a not elderly, a young, healthy person, and just continue to very, very carefully follow them. And if the level of their protection goes below a certain level, to then be ready and have a plan ready to go to get them their boost. In answer to your question, no vaccine, at least not within this category, is going to have an indefinite amount of protection.
So that is Dr. Anthony Fauci. And, I will say, where was this transparency and honesty from everything? I don't have a problem with his answer because he's being honest about it, at least. Welcome back to the show. Dana Lash here. DanaLash.com is the website. You can go and sign up for the newsletter, chapter and verse. So he says that he can't rule out Americans having to have these booster shots indefinitely. This is one of the things that Kane and I have been talking about. And I've been wondering for over a week now because of so many different mutations. And isn't that kind of like why they always say there's no cure for the common cold, because there's so many mutations of it?
Or the flu.
Yeah. And we had the discussion of the whole animal reservoir thing. And so this is actually an answer that I've been waiting to get from these professionals. So I'm happy that this question was asked and that we were able, thankfully we were able to get it. So that's good. And he didn't lie about it. He was just, where was this Fauci? Now, he said that there have been studies that are apparently already underway where they have two different groups. They have their vaccinated and unvaccinated group, and then they have their control group. Then he said they have a group that have showed hopeful promise, a group that has been fully vaccinated, and they're determining how many boosters within these two groups to see what is the most effective. Now, I kind of get the sense too, and I don't know if I don't know if they went into this. I think he kind of touched on it. Are these boosters that are going to be sequenced for different variants, or is it all for the same strain?
No, he didn't say that. And also what makes me upset is that no one ever addresses natural immunity. We're talking about vaccinated or unvaccinated, but nobody talks about people who have gotten COVID and recovered from it. And that also, when you point to the San Francisco mayor, London Breed, talking about a vaccine passport to do everything in public, what about those people who have natural immunity? Why is there a card, a vaccination/immunity card that they get to carry around and show the authorities when they want to do something in public? Because natural immunity has proven to be much longer lasting and more effective than the actual vaccine.
I want to dovetail on that with a question. So if say that you have had like the original strain of coronavirus and you have that natural immunity, if they develop are they going to treat some of these boosters as vaccinations for other strains? And then does that mean that you would need to get the shot for that particular strain if it's different from what you had?
I think that's their end goal, because if you look at what they did with the flu, they have a new shot every year.
Right.
Yet how are they, and they swear they're doing the research on the new strain of flu this year. So get your shot. It's a new strain of flu. Get your shot. And so this is how I think they're going to treat COVID. But again, not a fan. Natural immunity to me seems to be a much better way to go, which is what you have kids and I have.
Right.
When they were young, did your doctor say, well, you just got to let the virus run its course? Let's just do, that's what we got to do. That's literally been the advice for decades on viruses.
Well, and see, so this is where now you're making me have another question, Kane. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So when you would get a previous virus, you didn't really have, I mean, of course, there are some where, yes, there are exceptions. I can already hear the protestation.
Right.
But when you would get a virus, you wouldn't have like a serious long-standing issue after, right? Because there are reported long-standing issues. You have long COVID. I've read reports about women who have had heart issues after they've had the virus.
There are stories that
to be fully transparent, that is the thing that has actually made me consider it. Because, and I've not told people this. I've kind of talked about it. So at this year, last time, I went through a serious health scare, like where they thought I was going to drop dead, like no joke. And it was it had to do with, enzymes in my liver and the way that my body was processing, fat. I can't do high fat diets. And so it made it look like I was basically Wilford Brimley. And I had to do all these tests and work with a cardiologist. I wasn't allowed to get my heart rate up for 8 weeks. And I inadvertently dropped a ton of weight, sadly, which was muscle. And then everyone's like, she had plastic surgery again. Well, I don't know. So, because I had to do this crazy, insane diet. Which I've never had plastic surgery. I had to do a crazy, insane diet where I was basically eating dirt and sticks. Not literally, but you get the idea. And so that kind of now I'm like super, it's in the back of my mind. I don't have anxiety about it, but it's in the back of my mind. So I was reading stories about women who had heart issues after they had coronavirus. I'm like, good night. What other virus, to my point though, have you ever seen where you would have these long, super serious after effects too that have been reported?
You mean a virus created in a lab that leaked?
Exactly.
Is that what you mean?
That's my point.
Exactly.
That's why I'm sorry, but I've got to kind of embrace the tinfoil hat a little bit with that.